What's going on? Strat Soldier here for the podcast In Force. It is July 1st. In Force, the only podcast with me, the Strat Soldier, looking at the market through the eyes of the Strat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the people on YouTube and people on Spotify. It's been fun. We got a brand new month, a brand new quarter. And let's see if the buyers keep buying. That's what we want to see. Are the buyers going to keep buying? They said in May, sell and go away, but that's not what happened in June. June, things kept going to the highs, which was great. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't a beautiful, clean run. It was kind of messy. It was a little messy. We had some inside weeks. We had a lot of things going on. We had the first 2 weeks were great. Then we had that short week, and then June ended with an outside week to the upside. Again, the Fed has been doing everything they can to knock this market down, but they haven't been able to do it because, like I said before, the institutional buyers are tired of the downside. They're sick of it. Okay, they're sick of it. They got to make money too. And they're coming back into tech. And they're coming back into some other sectors. If you watched my show, The Weekend Shift, if you looked at my bonus vid, you already talked about the actionable signals on the quarters. Are they going to step back into retail? Are they going to rotate back into XLE, seasonality based on energies, or energies based on seasonality, I should say? What are they going to do? All right, that's what we want to see. What are they going to do? Because we want to be where the buyers are. That's what we want to see. I don't want to I don't want to be like digging in the trash, looking for some stuff like way at the lows to see if it's going to go to the highs and this is going to be my 6-month play. No. I want to find something that's reversing right now. I want to be in there for some highs. I want to see, be in there. I want to ride the trend. That's what I mean. I want to ride the trend. And that should be your goal as well. We never want to just jump in on something. We want to trade reversals, okay? We want to trade reversals. If you want to learn about what buys and sells look like, you want to learn more about the Strat, go check out thestratsoldier.com. The webinar last week was great. We had some great conversations. We went through the entire Strat, and by the end of it, everybody was just like, yes, let's do it. Let's open up the market, let me trade. The next webinar is going to be July 12th. July 12th. Get in there. I also have the Strat execution course and some other things in there. So go check that out, thestratsoldier.com. SPY, we are looking on the quarterly chart. We're looking for some 2 continuation up on the quarter. We want to see some more buying. Okay, that's what we want to see. What's going on the yearly charts? We're still inside year. All right, we're still inside year. The price ended in June at 443. 443. All right, July 1st, 443. That's the end of June. Okay. But we're still inside year. The high for the year on S&P 500 is 481. Are we going to get all the way back up there? We will see. We already have stocks that are at all-time highs already, like Apple, like Nvidia. Those are back at all-time highs. All right. How can everything not be going to the highs right now? You know what I mean? That's a good question. It's more than just AI. People say, well, it's because, they're talking about AI. And even everybody's saying AI, artificial intelligence. Everybody's screaming AI. You got on their earnings reports, you even got Kroger. Kroger said earnings, during their earnings report, they said AI 7 times in their earnings reports, trying to pump up their stock, trying to pump up the guidance and, get things moving. And Kroger, during their earnings, what did it do? Let's see. What did it do? Did it do anything really good for Kroger? Did saying AI really do much? Not really. All right. Not really. But it did go 2 up on the week. All right. right now, currently, we're looking for a 2-2 reversal up on Kroger. Now, I really don't want to talk about Kroger. I'm saying what everybody out there is saying. Hey, let's look at AI. Let's say AI as many times as we want, and if we get a 2-2 reversal back on Kroger at $47 up to $50, that's a good reversal. That's a good 2-2 reversal back to the highs. All right, that shows us buyers are still in there on the month. All right, but saying AI over and over and over there's more than that. All right, because the semiconductors were a big deal. We can look at Nvidia because semiconductors and AI and all this stuff. It did take things to the highs. It was awesome during their earnings in June. But what's that mean for July? Okay, what's that mean for July? Are they going to keep moving into semiconductors? Are they going to keep moving into tech? Or is everything just going to chill? Are people going to start taking profits and then go to the lows? Summertime is usually not great. It's always usually low volume. Okay, we can look at seasonality if you want. It's usually low volume because the people in the markets and everything else they are relaxing. They're relaxing. All right, they're not really doing a whole bunch. They are they're going on vacation, they're taking their families out, they're doing all kind of different things. They're real people as well. And that's why they say in May sell and go away, but in June they bought. Okay, so what are they going to do in July? We know that there's low volume during the summer. So July and August. Let's look at some seasonality. I don't care about the last 30 years. That's pretty huge. The last 30 years. Let's go the last. Let's go the last. I don't know, 2 years. No, that's too much. Let's maybe 3. Let's go 2019. Since 2019, all right, low volume in August and September. Very low volume in August and September. All right. So that's interesting. That's something we want to know about. Why and that's S&P 500. S&P 500, very low volume from August and September. For July, it's 100% up. All right, it's green. All right, actually you can see March, April, May, June, July. July might be good. All right, for the last 4 years, looking at seasonality and TrendSpider, it's 100% green. All right, it might be really good. It might be very good. So we'll see. And that's back from 2019. All right, 2019. We can back that up 2 years. I don't know. Let's go back up 2 years. All right, 2021. July, still 100% up. Green for the last 2 years. August, 50%. It's pretty low. The seasonality is pretty low in August and September. All right. July could be very good. I don't necessarily trade seasonality, but since TrendSpider made it available, I like to look at it. I like to look at see what's going on. All right, where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? I like it. And you can definitely see if you look at seasonality on TrendSpider, you can look at SPY for the last 2 years. October is when they step back in. September, not much change for the positive side. But October, November, December, October's when they come back in. They're off of vacation, they're back in. Time to get back to work. Let's make that money. So I've thought about it myself personally. Do I trade what I'm going to trade and just leave August alone? You know what I mean? I'm going to try July. We'll see in July. People will start talking about low volume. But we'll see what we can do in July. Maybe we'll make some good winning positions. We'll trade things to the upside, and then be done in August. Just take a break in August. Take a break in September. That would be a really interesting look at. I want to kind of check out my seasonality charts that I took screenshots of at the beginning of the year. Because I started, if you've been a consistent follower of In-Force, you know I've been looking at seasonality, and I talked about it at the beginning of the year, and I wanted to see, how this stuff plays out. So far, so good. So far, so good. And I don't just, look at the seasonality and just go, okay, buy. This thing says it's going to be great. It's just more evidence. In the past, this thing was amazing. In the past, it was great. Maybe we look at Apple. Apple's at all-time highs right now. The question is, are they going to keep buying? June ended on the price for Apple ended for June at 193. 193 and some pennies. Go check out the pennies for yourself. But if you look at the seasonality for the last 2 years on Apple, July is really good for Apple, right? And then August, September, it completely drops off. And then October, boom, they're in, blasting again to the highs. So June was really good. And then now July, it could be really good based on seasonality alone to the highs. We want to see what they do. What do they actually do? Because I can go down the sectors and look at seasonality. Most things look like they're going pretty high. XLE for seasonality for the last 2 years, pretty steady. But, for July, August, September, the volume, the positive change is really, really low. Really low. We might not want to mess with XLE with energies. All right. Tech stock looks pretty good. Healthcare, what's healthcare doing? Healthcare looks like it's, really well. It's doing great. Seasonality. Oh my goodness, July. So July could be great. That's what I'm saying. Go look at seasonality for yourself. If you don't have seasonality on TrendSpider, because you're not looking at it, healthcare for XRT for retail, we do have a hammer on retail on the quarter, and the seasonality doesn't look that great for July, August, September. All right, even though there's a hammer on the quarter, it might not do much. All right, but there is a hammer on the quarter. We want to see if that hammer goes in force. That's what we want. Consumer staples, it looks like it could be really good for July. We will see. We want to know what they are actually doing. What are they actually buying? There's going to be a lot of news. There's going to be a lot of people say get in Tesla. There's going to be a lot of people that say we should trade this, we should trade that. Look at Lucid. Let's look at the news on this. Let's look at the news on that. I want to know what the buyers are actually buying. I don't care what could happen. I want to know what is happening. So I'm looking for actionable signals on the week. I'm looking for time frame continuity on the month, the week, the day, and the 60. And I'm looking for actionable signals in the broadening formation. Right now, Tesla could be a possible 2-2 reversal back up for next week. That's going to be reconfirming what we're seeing, that there's buyers on the month, buyers on the quarter. All right, there's no actionable signals on the quarter. We just know that they keep buying. All right. Tesla hit its quarterly magnitude at 556 or 256. At 256, the magnitude for the next target is 314. 314. June ended at 261. So are we going to get a 2-2 continuation from 261 up to 314? That's what we want to see. And then going back to seasonality, June was good, and July, wow, July could be amazing. It could be great because it's 100% like, hey, this is going to be a positive thing. So July could be the last hoorah before August and September. Now, I talk about trading what we know to be true, and I talk about you guys creating a trading style that makes sense to you. All right. I don't say buy a whole bunch of out of the money contracts and see if they hit magnitude. I don't say load up on a bunch of stuff at the bottom of the broadening formation and see if it goes to the highs. I don't say that. What I say is make sure you trade what you know to be true. All right. Yes, we have seasonality. Yes, we have actionable signals. Yes, we have all these tools and widgets and these unusual options and all these different things to include what the Strat says it should do. But what I want you to focus on is what the price is actually doing. Are they really buying this? My example of are they really buying is Lucid. There's a lot of news on Lucid all the time because it's the only other. There's other people. There's like Neo and other companies that are making electric cars, but there was a really big buyer in Lucid from Saudi Arabia trying to get this company going. All right, but the stock is at $6.89. Is that really where we want to be? Look at the broadening formation on the month. Look at the broadening formation on the quarter. Is that where we really want to be? Sofi. I talked about Sofi. S-O-F-I. Sofi. I told one of my traders, hey, we're not eating out of the trash. He said there's an actionable signal on the month in June. I said, nope, I'm not touching this. But I also said, if this thing goes outside month to the upside, forms a hammer and goes in force, I will trade it. And I did trade it in June. Now, Sofi. Sofi is a big, Sofi's big deal is student loan debt. All right. Now, if the student loans have to start getting repaid, Sofi is gonna, we want to see if Sofi continues to the highs. All right. That, student loan debt, like, not having to pay that was a big deal for Sofi. All right, that was like, death, death. So, I did trade the hammer and force on the month. I took my magnitude at $8.35, and it went up to it ended up the highs on that for June were at $10.22. It ended June at $8.34. All right. Sofi Technologies was trading lower Friday afternoon after suffering a high amount of volatility earlier in the trading session, which was triggered when the Supreme Court blocked Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness case. All right. So there's a lot of news. The stocks are being affected by the news big time. All right. So even if things get passed with that and things, work this way or that way, what are the buyers really doing? That's what I want you to be able to see. All right. Don't get stuck in something that isn't really moving like they said they should. Yes, I want you to read Benzinga News. Yes, I want you to see what's actually happening in the markets. I want you to read Benzinga News. I want you to know what's happening out there and know what CPI is, know what PPI is, know what these different things are about the market. Learn some technical analysis if that will help you. But when it really comes down to it and those tickers start moving, how are you going to trade it? How are you going to trade it? Do whatever you can to create that winning position and then keep pushing your stops up till you get stopped out with profit. That's the main message of Enforce. Keep pushing your stops up until you get stopped out with profit. There's a lot of people saying, just hold on. It'll get to all-time highs. This thing could get, 3,000% and it could get to do this and do that. It can. But I'd rather trade what I know to be true, take setups that I know, I can take magnitude on, or push my stops up if this thing keeps going. I'd rather do that than try to get, 500% on a out of the money call or out of the money put, hoping that this is going to go. Risk management is already built into the Strat. It's already built into the Strat. If it's not working, we use tight stops. If it's not working, we get out. All right. Are you going to do it right all the time? No. Are you going to goof it up? Yes. Are you going to hold losing positions when you're not really supposed to? I don't want you to, but daggone it, you might. You might. I want you to be able to look at this thing on the chart and go, this is a losing position. You know what I mean? This is a losing position. I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision. What am I going to do? Not worry. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to talk down about myself. I'm going to look at this and go, all right, this is a losing position. What am I going to do? Am I going to cut it? I know for a fact I'm not averaging down on a loser, because only losers average losers. All right? I'm not going to do that. What am I going to do here? All right? All right? That's what I want you to think about. That's what I want you to think about. In July, it could be great looking at seasonality, looking at the charts. We got some actionable signals in retail. Let's go over, since you guys on Enforce, you guys are you're driving your cars, you're cleaning the house, you don't have time to look at all this stuff. What am I looking at? Macro signals. The macro signals for the next quarter. We're looking at XRT retail. XRT retail has a hammer on the quarter. We're going to look at anything in the retail ETF that look the same. XLE has an inside quarter. They can go either way. It can go to the highs, or we can go to the lows. All right. Based on seasonality and your gas prices usually go up when you're filling up your car during the summer. We'll see what happens with that. XLV, healthcare has an inside quarter. Now it's double inside quarter. That doesn't mean, here, it's about to go. It's about to go. It's going to explode. No, right now it means it's stuck. The last two quarters are stuck in the fourth quarter of 2022. That's what that means. We want to see if it goes snare or two up or snare or two down. If it goes inside quarter on healthcare and just sits there, not touching it. XLP has a shooter with consumer staples, has a shooter on the quarter. Let's see if they start taking profits and going to the downside on XLP, consumer staples. Individual names, looking at ALGN. ALGN has a hammer on the quarter at 363. 363, and the magnitude is 451. That's what I'm talking about. Buy a couple shares, maybe. CI, the Cigna Group, has a possible 2-2 reversal backup that goes in force at 282. The magnitude is 327. Woo! All right. Cuckoo, COO, the Cooper Companies, has a Momo hammer, goes in force at 395. The magnitude is 430. Johnny John, back in healthcare, Johnny John, possible 312 reversal back up on the quarter, goes in force at 167. The magnitude's 180. Looks awesome. V with Visa just now went 2-2 reversal in force on the year. At 235. The magnitude's 252 on the year. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That's where you want to be. I want to be where the buyers are, and it has more room to go. Enforce. That's what we do. We go where the buyers are. Is it Enforce? We trade with the trend. Same thing. If it goes to the lows, I want to hit anything going to the lows. I want to punch it in the face. All right? This is the Strat Soldier for the podcast Enforce. I didn't go through a whole bunch of individual names because I go through the sectors. I did go through some individual names, but if you know what you're looking for on the ETFs and the indices, you'll know what to look for in the holdings of those sectors. All right? There's a lot of people out here posting a lot of charts. I want you to trade what you know to be true. Know what actionable signals are. Know what time frame continuity you should be looking at, and then where you're at in the broadening formation. Create those winning positions. All right? Go check out my execution course on thestratsoldier.com. Also check out my the Strat trade checklist, because we don't just take every reversal on the chart. You'll go crazy doing that. There's certain criteria that we want to meet before we get in. There's certain criteria that we want to meet before we get in. Thank you so much for being here. Go check out other episodes of In Force. We usually have a good time. Have a good July 4th weekend. Be careful, be safe, have fun. Talk to you guys later. Peace.